in Philadelphia because I lived in Delaware at the time, and they interviewed me and gave me a nice plaque for being a champion for their program. It was like
Wow.
Leukemia Lymphoma Society, but it was the American Cancer Research Group. I can't remember what
Uh-huh.
it's called now, but
Yeah.
it turns out my brother, who's a PhD microbiologist, was a member of that group.
Huh. And you didn't know it at the time?
No,
Wow.
but I was training out in Milford, Delaware, and they actually came down and interviewed me on the set for a local television show in Philadelphia.
Wow, that's cool. Um, so what are your tips for getting like the best pair of shoes? Ask someone to
Make
buy you a
sure
pair of
they
shoes.
fit. And you need to probably have 1 to 2 size larger than your normal street shoes
I have
because as
heard
you're running, your feet will be stretched. I normally wear 9.5 to 10s, and I wear 11 running shoes.
hmm. Okay. Now, do you think that makes a difference if you run faster versus slower? Like if someone's just walking?
No, it's basically the same going to be a thing. It's the longer you walk, the longer distances you're going to go, the bigger chances are
Okay,
you're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
have. Now I can't wear Nikes because the toe box is too tight, and they'll rub my foot. And the same if you have too short a toe, you'll get black toes, or you'll get blood blisters. I've had that happen. I've had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I've had that once or twice. Like yeah, not fun. Have
No, it's not. And then
you
you
tried the Ultra shoes before? They're
no, I've
known
used
for like a
New
really
Balance.
wide toe box.
I've used New Balance. I've used Adidas. I've used Brooks, Newton's. Another company called On. They're out of Europe. I've used those
Seems like
shoes.
there's new running shoe companies coming out every year, it seems like.
Yeah, pretty much. But these are all in the last probably 15, 20 years. I really started doing marathons after I turned 55.
Oh wow.
I did the first two in my young years, but then I had kids and you can't train and all that. So I just cut back. And then uh, my last job, I worked for Kent County in Delaware as an environmental manager. We went up there and I was there by myself for a couple months while we sold the house down in Florida. And then we started trying out, getting back into racing. In fact, I was at a Value City, and they were offering. One of the coats they had was an old Boston Marathon coat, and I bought that, and that was what started me getting back and saying I ought to run more marathons again.
Cool, cool. So do you have tallied like how many 5Ks you've done, how many 10Ks you've done? Like do you have all the numbers or
I know I have done 17 marathons, probably 20 to 25 halves. And then I know the states I have a database of some of them, but I don't keep track of the 5Ks and 10Ks. There's too many
yeah,
of them.
right,
Now,
right.
interestingly, USA Track and Field, when you turn 40, they have an award called the Fidipides Award. And you get
Fidipity?
Fidipidi, the guy that did the marathons and died? Anyways, these awards are based on how many marathons or half marathons you get points, and based on whether you're in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you get a Fidipides awards. And I've got 8 on my wall right now. I haven't done enough running since the last cancer. I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia back in 2021 and ended up spending a year and a half over at MD Anderson in Texas. And I live here near Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah. And what did you
What,
tell
what I just
tell everyone your experience? Like what did you name your little
George.
IV pole?
My IV pole is George.
George.
And then I had to have portable IV pumps under my clinical trial I was on. So each one was Georgina, Georgia, some female version of George.
Georgette.
Yeah. And I did that for
Oh,
almost a year and a half. Then eventually had a stem cell transplant. And one of the interesting
and
things,
you walked laps in the hospital.
that's
What
correct.
every day?
Every day, 3 times a day, so I could get my miles in.
And how
It
many
was
miles did that do? Like how
10
many laps
laps
did you make?
around 10 laps around the nurses station area, got me a mile.
And how many miles did you do every day?
Three every day, and I pull my IV pole along with me.
Wow. And I bet those nurses, they just loved you, I bet.
Well, they actually started having awards for people who would do that now, because
Oh
they
wow.
started seeing me do it.
Uh-huh. So you set the bar high for some people.
That's right.
Well, is there anything you want to share with us that I haven't, touched on that you're just like dying to
Well,
shout
one
to
of my future projects is to walk the Camino de Santiago. That is from
Oh.
France to Spain. It's a pilgrimage. It's 500 miles. And yeah, I was trying last year. I came up with a coffee table book idea where I would take photographs and put some inspirational quotes that I came up with that would hear as I walked along. Unfortunately, we couldn't raise the money we tried a Kickstarter and that didn't go too well. And then today when I was out running, I came up, I've always wanted to do a father-son where the father has Alzheimer's and the son has to kind of help him. And it occurred to me I was trying to think of, what kind of route they would walk or something. And then it came up, I'd do the Camino. So next
is that
time,
the same thing? The Santiago and the Camino?
Yeah, the Camino de Santiago is all one.
Okay.
It starts in, I can't even pronounce the name, some place in France, goes across the mountains and then ends up, it's also called the Way of St. James. And there's actually a movie that Martin Sheen and his son did called The Walk that follows, now actually wasn't filmed on the Camino, it was filmed in Morocco, but it follows the path of that trail. And it's been used for pilgrimage since the 1200s.
Wow. So do you have a plan? Like, you gonna still try to go
I'm
and
still
walk
planning. I just going to raise about 20 grand. And I don't have that kind of as a retired, because what I plan on doing is using, they have sponsors where you can get a hotel room, or you can rough it. Well, I'm 76 this year, so I don't think I can rough it like I used to be able to.
Yeah. Well, you've got a great story. Like, you've beat cancer multiple times and you've been running for 50 years. You're winning races in your age group. Like, maybe you could get a sponsor. Like, go to the news outlets and say, hey, I need a sponsor because I want to do this race.
I tried to go for a Kickstarter last year, but I didn't get a lot of interest at the time. But, you never know. I mean, so hopefully I'll find the sources sometime. I'd like to do it in the next year or two.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want to produce a coffee table book and use it as a background for a script.
Oh. So have you ever done a ultra marathon, anything longer than a marathon?
No, not any interest.
I've never had
a marathon.
I'd never had any interest for the longest time. I've only done 2 marathons and 2 half marathons. And I'm like, okay, then kids, family, jobs, all the things. And here recently, so I'm going to be 50 in a couple of years, roughly. And I'm like, okay, I can do a 50K because that's only 31 miles. It's just, it's the shortest
Now
Ultra.
I did do that year I finished last in 7 hours. I got lost. And I probably covered 27 and a half miles in the process instead of the full 26.2.
Uh-huh.
But when I was doing them, I don't run the whole thing because I just don't have the endurance anymore. So I just start out running and then walk some and then run a little bit, walk a little bit. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I had the paramedics following me the whole way.
And what year was it? The last marathon you ran? What year was that?
2013. That was right before I was diagnosed with mantle cell lymphoma, which was 2014.
And how long did that marathon take you?
7 hours.
That's not too bad.
Well, now that's officially. There was another story here. I always have lots of stories. I was at mile 13. They stopped having porta potties.
Oh,
I had to
that's
go
dumb.
number 2 real bad at mile 16.
Why? Why would they do that to us?
I don't. Well, this is the first time that he had ever done it. This was the first year of that marathon,
Okay.
and so I was walking along, and this guy he'd seen all the people running past and all that. He said, "Are you in the marathon?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Hey, can I ask a favor of you?" He said, "What?" "Can I use your bathroom?" He was out cutting his grass. He said, "Sure." So I went into his house, and it was a long moment. And he knocked on the door. "Paramedics want to know if you're okay." I said, "Sure. I'm just, I got finished, and I finished the marathon. And we had about 6 more miles to go, something like that. And every time it was in the area that I lived. So every time we drove by that house, I would tell my kids, "That's the guy that helped me."
I think we all have a story, something like that. And it doesn't even have to be bathroom related, but just a story where there's a house, and right. Every time you pass it, you always have to retell that same story of what happened. And
I mean, I did one marathon where it rained the whole day, 40-degree temperatures. And I did one where the wind chill was 17 the whole way.
Oh my goodness. What state was that one in?
Delaware. It was Rehoboth Beach.
Oh.
They held it in December.
No.
And I've run ones, the Darlington one was 85 degrees the whole day.
That's tough too. Like extreme weather either direction is tough.
And I've ended up going to ERs twice at the end of a marathon. I've always finished. Always made sure I finished. But that's been my 2 ambulance rides in my life.
Oh man.
In one case, because I was taking chemo drugs and doing a half marathon, the doctor said my creatinine level was too high and they wanted to just check me. The other one, I finished the marathon. I was doing it for LLS. I went and got my medals. I took a shower. My son and I came down. It was Vegas. And I came down to go to eat, and I passed out. So I spent the overnight in a Las Vegas hospital.
Oh my! Were you like low on salt or something? Dehydrated?
Yeah, I was dehydrated. That's another. Always drink plenty of water.
Drink your water. Don't go to the hospital. Oh,
that's
man.
Right. And and sometimes you like the Darlington, they give you little bathroom cups of water. That's what you got.
That's it. Wow.
That was it. And it was 85 that day, and sunny the whole way.
Can I have 10 of them?
Now I didn't quite remember the last mile. I know I finished, but it was kind of a little dizzy from just being dehydrated and hot. But I always managed to make sure I finish.
Nice. The marathon I did in Alaska, there was we had a group of us training in Asheville, North Carolina, and we flew out to Alaska, and she overtrained, and she went for a big training run like 1 or 2 nights before the big race, and she she couldn't finish. I think she got an injury or something in the first few miles, or she might not even started the race, but I think she started it, but she did. She got injured and couldn't finish because she overtrained, you know?
Right. You could do that just as easily as not training.
Yeah. So over the years, as you've been riding and you've been running, what's one of the biggest overlaps, or like, you know, that you're drawing from riding to help your running, you're drawing from running to help your riding? Like,
Well, when I'm out running, that's when your mind can get around. If you're having problems with your writing, you can, like today when I was out running, I thought of this story's been in my mind for like a year, about 3-4 years, about a father starting Alzheimer's, and the son who's kind of distance from him, coming back to the mother says, "Come help him deal with this." And so it occurred to me while I was running, you know, the Camino would be a great way to have the son and father go together. So when I'm having
that setting is the backdrop for your story, your characters, but you want to go also like walk it, experience it, so you can authentically write it.
If I'm going to write about it, I need to experience it to know what it's like, and I'll take pictures along the way and use that for kind of the background information. I mean, it's still going to be interpersonal relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, for running and the training and all that, it's, you know, the writing is a marathon, the same as running a marathon itself. You know, you start out. I remember several marathons where I'm going on, and the half marathoner guys are turning away from me, and I know I've got still halfway to go. That's not very encouraging.
Yeah, but it's like you train time. You know.
Well, yeah, if I'm doing it half and they're doing the full, I feel a lot better. I'm almost done and they're still going.
There you go. Well, if somebody wants to reach out to you and chat it up and learn more about any of your life experiences, or work on a project with you, or get ideas about running tips, how can they reach you? Like, what's a great way for them to connect with you?
Best way is through email. And my email is denewts@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Because that's when we started. I started that one when I lived in Delaware.
Okay. Well, Jim, don't hang up, but I'm going to end the live stream portion.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us today for the first debut episode ever of the Riders Who Run. And maybe we'll hear more from you in the future.
I sure hope so.
Right. Thanks everyone for watching. Reach out to Jim.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.